This is the Infinite Receiving Podcast, helping conscious leaders like you tap into a wealth of abundance across all areas of your life and business. My name is Susie Ashworth. I am a single mom of 3 and author of the Sunday Times best-selling book, Infinite Receiving. Crack the code to conscious wealth creation and finally manifest your dream life. On this show, I'll be sharing with you how you can upgrade your identity and your reality to create the life that you have been dreaming of. Because you are ready to be an infinite receiver. Hello, you gorgeous human being. It is Susie Ashworth here, and you are listening to the Infinite Receiving Podcast. And I am happy to be in your earbuds with you today. I just really want to dive straight on in, to be honest with you, because this is a juicy one. And I'm using the word juicy without there even being a guest. I like to mix it up a bit. I know. Who the hell do I think I am? I'm Susie Mother Truckin' Ashworth. That's who I am. But I am really excited to share with you a very tactical episode today on launching a course. I am doing something I've not done for a really long time. It feels like flipping ages. And that is, I am going to be launching a brand new course. Yes. It's going to be in the final quarter of the year. I think it's going to be around October time. And this program is called Catalyst. And it is specifically for women who are over the age of 40 and are in a transition period of their life. And they are very clear that they are looking to make a massive change. So that might be a massive change in their business. It might be a massive change in their personal life. It might be that they have already come through something that feels significant, i.e. a birthday. And they're now like, okay, this is my time. And I want to take this moment in this chapter and I really want to make it something. I want to be able to look back at my story and say, that was the moment. And I want to be super conscious about co-creating something that is quite extraordinary. And this container catalyst is going to be for that woman. And this is new. Like, I very rarely talk about a program this far in advance. And I am doing it very deliberately. If you're listening to this, you were obviously slightly excited, intrigued by the title, which is behind the scenes of a course launch. Because what my intention is to take you through every step of this journey to when, of course, we actually launch the program, to what my intention I am holding in my heart is that it will be our biggest course launch today. Like, why the hell not? And so this is really the very beginning. And this program, in part, was inspired by one of my mastermind clients who she's just joined Ascend. She's an incredible woman, incredible coach with just such fantastic pedigree, like 3 languages, worked on 4 continents, worked for some of the biggest corporates in the world. Still people like have her on speed dial and like, can you come and do this executive coaching with, this team member, this person? Like, she is pedigree. And at the same time, she's, in her 5th chapter. And I think that we can all face this. And I've seen it. I have seen it with my peers in the industry, where you get to a certain age and you realize that the life that you are living is very different from many of your peers, you start to kind of get this nagging doubt, this insecurity that you need to start being more sensible, that you need to start getting more real with yourself. And whereas before it felt exciting to think about creating a 7-figure impact, it felt exciting to think about your first 6-figure launch or multiple 6-figure launch or whatever the goal was for your business, or perhaps for your personal life. Like, I am going to meet the love of my life and we are going to ride off into the sunset together. Maybe that felt cute 5 years ago, but now it's like, really? I'm too set in my ways. I've already tried so many things and they haven't quite come off the way that I wanted them to come off. And maybe I need to readjust my desires. Maybe I need to lower my expectations of what I really think is possible to co-create with this universe. And I remember a few months ago seeing posts all over the internet. I did a podcast about it, talking about soft girl era and no longer wanting to have these big desires. And whilst I get that there are seasons and cycles and totally normal to want to relook at your priorities, like, are these things still important to me? My overwhelming intuition told me that many of the people that were shifting their priorities weren't doing it because it was a genuine shift. It was because they felt like they had run out of time. And if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. And if it hasn't happened by now, then I need to change. I need to be more sensible. I need to be more like everybody else. These points in our life, these thought patterns are often triggered by us interacting with a choice point, a point in the road, a point on our path where we can either do or die. We can either sing or shrivel. And what is most interesting to me is that it's not the choice point, i.e., it is not the circumstance that determines whether you decide to sing or shrivel. It's got nothing to do with the circumstance, but it has everything to do with the meaning that you give the circumstance, i.e., I've just had my birthday. I still haven't found the love of my life yet, so I need to stop looking because all I'm doing is disappointing myself. I've just turned 45. I still am not doing anything beyond 3K a month. Like, why the hell do I think that it's going to be possible for me now to hit 8K? Who am I to be like, I'm giving up my 9 to 5 and I'm going to start something new, Who am I to be the person who says that I am going to do something today that I have never done before? Like, who are you? And this program is for the woman who is saying, actually, I am not ready to shrivel. I am not ready to die. In fact, I am ready to soar. I am ready to do this thing like I have never done it before. Yes, I am a year older, but I celebrate that because I feel good. I look good. I am strong. And the idea that I had of who I would be when I was 40, when I was 10, I am nothing like that person. I am just getting going. And Catalyst is the container for that human being. So what today is about is sharing with you the first step to creating what I desire to be our biggest course launch yet. And it's sharing it with you so that you can, for those of you who create courses or coaching programs, really anybody who's creating anything that is going to be of service to people within your community, I want to share with you how I am doing it so that you can start using that as inspiration for how you create your own courses and programs. So step one of creating a brand new course or program is inspiration, intuition, and listening. So I am always looking at patterns, like where am I saying the same thing over and over again in different containers? When is this message coming up? When am I seeing it online? What am I observing? And then also, what am I observing externally? But also, where am I noticing some mirrors? What is going on for my client or what I'm seeing, online? Where does that feel resonant for me, either in the present or in the past? And as soon as I start to tune into that, I can then identify what are the steps that I have taken in order to move through, or what are the steps that I am going to take in order to move through. And this is the start of creating something quite extraordinary that is unique to you. And this is the most important thing. I think that the biggest mistakes that people make when deciding to create courses or programs is that rather than pulling from their own experiences, rather than pulling from the coaching that they are giving on a daily basis, the effective coaching that they are giving on a daily basis to their clients, what they do is think about, what do I think is going to sell based on what is this guru over here doing? Or what did my friend who just had a massive launch, what was she selling? Oh, this thing looks like it's flying at the moment, so I need to do something like that. It doesn't work like that. The problem when you are looking outside of yourself for what it is that you should create is that you end up being a poor imitation of somebody else. In my book, Infinite Receiving, I talk about the fact that when you know your own unique greatness, you are able to stop with the comparison because you understand that your unique transmission is only ever going to come from you. Like nobody else can copy it when you are being fully you. If anybody attempts to copy it, it just becomes a pale imitation. And it is the same in reverse. If you're looking at people and trying to study, how are they saying this? Or, why are they saying that? You're copying them rather than allowing yourself to free flow. And it doesn't work. You end up trying to present other people's theories without the embodiment piece. And energetically, there is a disconnect, and that's why your courses and programs aren't flying. So when you are looking to launch a program or a course, I really want to advise you to start with yourself and what is closer to home, like what is going on in your containers. And if you are new to coaching and you're like, well, I don't have any clients, then I really recommend that you look at how do I apply what it is that I learned in my certification, in my programs? How have I been my own best client? What you might find is in the beginning, you don't have a 12-week program. You have one thing that you have nailed. And if you have one thing that you have nailed, that's the one thing that I would sell. That is the one thing that I would sell, in the same way as when I first started out, I made my first £1,000 online and I taught people how to make their first £1,000 online. I wasn't like 10K months, 7-figure years. I was like, how to make your first £1,000. And that worked because I knew, because I had done it. And there were still people that were exponentially further ahead than me, who had much bigger promises, way more evidence. And yet I still managed to make over 6 figures because I started with where I was at and I was able to coach and teach from an embodied place. So if you know right now within your offer suite, and you might listen to me say that and go, I haven't got an offer suite. If you know right now that you need an offer, or you want to revitalize something that hasn't worked before, even though you know that it is great and it comes from your own personal experience. Really want to encourage you to identify the stories, identify the grains, the seeds of those stories. Where did they start? And as you notice where these stories started, where the inspiration came from, where your experience came from, you're going to very, very quickly notice whether you feel good about talking about that experience, whether it feels true when you share those stories. And if it does, great. We have the start of a new course or program. And if it doesn't, then you need to re-look at the thing. So this is part 1 of behind the scenes of a course launch. And what I really want you to take away from this is that part 1 starts with inspiration. What's inspiring you? Your intuition. Where are you seeing the same problem being presented again and again and again that you know that you have the answer to? When you're seeing it in multiple places, that's your intuition trying to give you a nudge. And then 3, are you listening? Like, listen to the guidance that is already there. And from that place, we can start to create. Now, if you are looking to launch a course or a program and you would love some support with that, if you're already earning $2,000 a month through your business, then please feel free to DM me on Instagram with the word momentum to see how I and my team might be able to support you. Now, I really hope that you have got value from this episode. And if you have, I would deeply, deeply appreciate you sharing this with at least one other person. And it's always really amazing when you tag me on Instagram so I can give you a shout out and share you as you share me. And we get this message of being able to receive infinitely in all ways across our lives and our business out into the world. So bookmark this if you're not ready for a course launch yet, and look out for part 2 when it arrives. Okay, take it easy, and please remember that faith plus action equals miracles.
Thank you for listening to Infinite Receiving with me, Susie Ashworth. I'd love to share with you my Infinite Receiving activation audio. Go to susieashworth.com/activate infinite receiving.